Hey, welcome everybody to This Never Gets Old. Today's special guest is Keziah Arnold. She's the regional sales manager for Anthem Blue Cross. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
To kick things off, tell us a little bit about what a regional sales manager does.
Sure. So in my role as a regional sales manager with Anthem Blue Cross, I'm located locally here in the Los Angeles County greater area of Southern California. And what the role entails really is, in a nutshell, I like to tell people, think of me as a liaison between clients and or the agents that they work with and the company. So I'm kind of like a direct line of support, communication, to make sure that our members and the agents that they work with have assistance with anything that they might need, and I'm sort of the face of that. So face of the company in a small role, if you will, to make sure that they are being supported and helped with anything that they might need.
Excellent, fascinating. So take us back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up and if that influenced you in any way to where you are today.
Sure. I grew up on the East Coast. I'm an East Coast girl at heart. So I grew up between Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. And I have lived, though, out on the West Coast now for quite some time. This summer, I'm coming up on about 14 years. I moved here after I graduated high school. So I'm kind of torn between the two. I still love the East Coast, but I love living out here on the West Coast. I had a really great experience growing up. Great group of friends. I was very involved in school and outside of school. So I've always been a super active person, I think just on all cylinders, being out there. So I think that definitely set me up for a way to make connections once I hit college and went to school and was meeting people that way and in terms of networking. So I don't know if it necessarily set me up on the path or directly influenced the role that I'm in now, but I would definitely say everything was a stepping stone to get there, if that makes sense. So every kind of decision I made or direction I turned to or person I met kind of helped build that life for where I am now.
Fascinating. Great. Thank you so much. I'm sure that maybe sports and were a part of your upbringing. And the reason I mention that is because every week here on This Never Gets Old, we're going to highlight a exercise of the week that's particularly for seniors, and let's check that out.
For this warm-up, you're going to use a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, placing the ball on the ground, knees directly below the hips, wrist, elbow, shoulder lined up. You're going to put your hand on the ball with a little bit of pressure and just massage every area of your palm on the ball for about 20 seconds and switch to the other hand.
Okay, welcome back everybody. We're here with Keziah Arnold. She's the regional sales manager for Anthem Blue Cross. So let's dig back into that. So in this regional sales manager role, what's a typical day look like for you? Are you mostly in the office? Are you out in the field? Tell us a little bit about your role.
Sure. So a combination of the two. I would say definitely priority is to be out and about, interfacing in person as much as I can. So in doing so, we try to host and or attend a lot of trainings. And a lot of the times does end up being more convenient to do those virtual as well, just based off of the fact that we live in a very, very spacious area here in not only just Los Angeles County, but all of Southern California. And we have folks that we work with, agents who are located all over the place, as you know, and they're not always able to attend in person based on their day-to-day schedules. So we do host a lot of virtual trainings to accommodate to that, but we try to do in person as much as we can to, like I said, get that face-to-face, kind of interaction. So depending on what my schedule looks like for the day, if there's events going on, trainings, anything like that, like I said, those obviously take the priority. And so I make room on my calendar for those first. And when I don't have to be in person, to attend something, I can work out of my home office, which is where we'll do those virtual trainings or internal meetings as well. But we do have a couple offices, Anthem does, here in Southern California that we visit every so often. But I'm very fortunate in the fact that I'm not required to commute to and from those offices on a daily basis because, again, the idea and the hope and the priority is that I'm out and about in the field, interacting.
Great. Okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'm sure everybody's wondering what that beautiful plate of food is there in front of you. We like to cook here, and we like to feed our guests on This Never Gets Old. So while Keziah digs into that, let's see how I made this beautiful plate of food. Hi, welcome to my kitchen, where we're going to create meals that are healthy, delicious, and stretch your food dollar. Every week, we're going to take one ingredient, cook it one time, and then repurpose it into 3 or 4 meals for the week. So let's get started. So today, we've got a pack of 10 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs that we're going to roast in the oven at 350 for about an hour till the skin is golden brown, crispy, and delicious. So we have a pan with some olive oil heating up. We're going to add a cup of onion and a cup of red bell pepper. We're going to add a little salt, a little black pepper. So once your onions and peppers have cooked down, you're going to add 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, about a cup of chopped Italian parsley, the zest of 1 lemon, and about half a cup of white wine. And let that cook down until you burn off all the alcohol and reduce that liquid. So once that liquid is reduced, you're going to add about 6 cups of chopped Roma tomatoes. It's about 10 tomatoes. You're going to salt and pepper those as well. You're going to cover that and let that cook down. Okay, now that we got some great food in our system here and we're full, let's get back to your role as regional sales manager. But tell us, what do you think?
It's delicious.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
very fresh.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
He did.
So tell us a little bit about a little more about your role. I know you work with a lot of agents in the Medicare space. What qualities do you think make a successful agent?
Yeah, and I think it's a great question. So when someone, a prospect, as we usually will refer to them as, becomes eligible for Medicare, it's really important that they meet with someone who is a licensed professional and can go over the options that they have with them, right? The agents or brokers, as we refer to them as in the industry, are so vital to these folks who are, eligible now for a Medicare plan. And we really encourage them to, take the time to attend the, maybe the seminars, the 101s, Medicare 101s that they receive information on so that they can do a little bit of research for themselves, but also find someone that they become comfortable with to sit down and review these options, because the licensed agents, like I said, that we work with in this role and just in general in the industry are the professionals. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They conduct their research every year, all throughout the year, on everything that changes and what's coming for the following year. So they will know what is going to be one of the best options for these folks that they sit down with. So I really see in, kind of just day-to-day success, these agents who take that role seriously and they prioritize helping the prospects that come, across their desk, if you will, really taking the time to put in the work and to do the research to make sure that they're offering the best options for those people once they become eligible. Great.
And staying on the topic of Medicare, there's a lot of terminology that people may not grasp, may not fully understand. For instance, can you maybe explain the difference between a C-SNP and a D-SNP plan?
Definitely. Yeah, I always joke that there should be some kind of like acronym dictionary in this industry, right? There's so many shortened versions and abbreviations and acronyms that it gets overwhelming to keep track of them all. So D-SNP and C-SNP, the primary difference is going to be obviously that letter, the D or the C. Dual is what the D stands for, so a dual special needs plan. And what that typically means is that the eligible prospect to enroll onto that plan is a full dual or Medi-Medi, as we will often refer to them. And that means that they have full Medicaid, or Medi-Cal, as we call it here in the state of California, and Medicare. They have to have both, right? And the C in C-SNP refers to chronic. So it means that the eligible prospect must have at least one CMS-deemed chronic condition in order to be eligible for that plan. And a lot of these times, these plans are specialized, but there's several of them. So there could be a specific diabetes plan. There could be a specific COPD plan. It depends on the condition of the member. So that's the actual, difference in the name of the plan, and what makes the member eligible is dependent on either their income and or their health status. Now, there is a lot of overlap, and what I mean by that is somebody who is full dual and eligible for a D-SNP plan oftentimes will have a chronic condition that makes them eligible for a C-SNP or the chronic special needs plan as well. And in those instances, it's really going to be up to the prospect and hopefully the licensed insurance agent they're working with to decide which one would be the better fit for them based off of, a lot of different factors, but their condition, their medical providers, their prescriptions, things like that.
Thank you. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful in people understanding what the differences are. Thanks for sharing. Switching gears a little bit, every week here on This Never Gets Old, we like to feature a senior who is kind of breaking the mold of what the stereotype of being a senior is. Let's check out Cheryl Matsukawa. She's a CrossFit coach. She teaches Fit Over 50 at the Torrance Training Lab.
My name is Cheryl Matsukawa. From the age of 8, I swam all the way through high school on the high school team, played on the basketball team, and then as I got older, I took up a lot more sports. I think it's just such a good way of getting strong, feeling good about yourself. Yeah, staying healthy. I worked at American Honda for almost 40 years. They had an amazing fitness center. A year before Torrance Training Lab opened, some of the coaches that were teaching CrossFit at another gym were also doing classes at Honda, and they started adding in a little bit of CrossFit or cross-training type movements. So I became familiar with the whole range like we use in cross-training. A lot of my friends had been telling me, we're retired now, we want to exercise, but we don't know where to start. For Fit Over 50, we really wanted to focus on longevity, how to be healthy as we age. And so we do a lot of focus on warming up, of course, warming up different parts of our body for whatever we're going to work on that day. We do a lot of strength, and then we do balance exercises. Balance is so important. Also, our vision changes throughout the years, so our depth perception may not be as good. Absolutely things that you could do at home, which is really great. We do something called a Tabata. So it's only 8 rounds, only 20 seconds of hard pedaling, 10 seconds of rest. They do that 8 times. And they're sweating afterwards, even though it's a 3-minute and 50-second workout. But super good, super fast. Sometimes I get them on the wall and we do wall burpees, wall mountain climbers, just anything to kind of get their heart rates up. I want to say we're about 50 to 80 years old. We also have people that have mobility issues. You can do everything that I do, just at a different level. And you start at this level and you get stronger, you get more fit, and see where it goes. And that is absolutely what has happened in our class from 2 years ago. People that have joined back then, and even people in the past 6 months or year, it's been amazing because they've walked in and they've had a hard time with mobility, with balance. And then today I'm looking at the class, absolutely amazing. There are things we can do, even little things. It doesn't need to be a 1-hour block out of your day. It can be while you're sitting at the sink, you can do push-ups, you can do squats, just little tiny reminders that they can take from class and apply to their everyday life. There are 3 things that people may not know about me. So first of all, I have osteoporosis. It's something that I think about, and it helps me research and educate myself so I can do a good job at teaching people in the class what they can do to work on their bone strength. I did start line dancing for 2 reasons: memory and just movement. It's a lot of cardio. That is so much fun. I never thought I'd like line dancing, but it's so much fun. I also started taking a women's self-defense class at a Grassy Jiu-Jitsu, and I did a free seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar, and it was amazing because the movements that they do, that they teach you, even in that 2-hour seminar, which is for beginners, very basic movements they taught, I thought, this is like magic. And that's what really drew me to that. There's always been so much support here from Lexi, Jamie, and former owner Dan to bring programs like this to TTL. I stumbled across an old email from Dan, one of the former owners. This is in 2014, and he said to me, "Do you want to think about doing a class for seniors?" And 10 years later, I'm like, "Lexi, can we do a class for seniors?" And she's like, "Of course." So it's funny that things were already swirling around, and now they've come to fruition. So it's been really great.
Okay, hey, we're back with Keziah Arnold, the regional sales manager for Anthem. For someone who for some people who are listening and they're trying to choose a plan, what are the top questions they should be asking to make sure that it fits into their lifestyle and needs?
Yeah, it's a great point to raise because, as I previously kind of alluded to, if they're meeting with hopefully a licensed agent who's able to help assist them with different options and array of these things that might be helpful or a better fit for them, there are some questions that, one, they should either be asking themselves, or 2, they should be asking the agent and hopefully working together to see what is going to ultimately be the best option for them. And a few of those, not limited to, but definitely a few that come to mind for me are going to be, the importance and the priority of where they receive their medical care or where they would like to receive their medical care, right? Because different medical groups have different contracts with different health care organizations or companies. So not every single provider group has a contract in place with the health insurance companies and the plans that they might be eligible for or interested in. So that's going to be a main thing, is if their coordination of care, especially if they are dealing with something like a chronic condition, you want to make sure that their medical group, their providers, their specialists, there wouldn't be any disruption to that. Or if they're open to changing, or perhaps they're relatively healthy and they don't see a lot of specialists, and they're open to, going to what is most convenient for them on that plan, and kind of working backwards from there. So really focusing on the providers and the medical group and what plans are associated with that or with those groups. Or if the plan and the benefits are taking priority over the medical group for the prospect, you would want to see, which medical groups that plan is contracted with and work off of that way. So that's kind of the main thing, is you want to distinguish which one is more of a priority for the prospective member and go from there. I also highly recommend that they take a look at the formularies of the plans that are options for them, because prescription drugs are a very important thing, of course, but it's definitely something that we see a lot, especially as folks get older. And you want to make sure that the prescriptions that they do currently have or could potentially have in the future are included on formularies, what the cost would look like on those. And again, different carriers and different plans are going to have different formularies and different cost share available. So you want to determine what is going to be the best setup for them there as well. And I also recommend that they take like proximity into location. A lot of our seniors are more active and healthy, and they drive, and so distance isn't necessarily a huge factor for them, but a lot of the times it can be. And if maybe they don't drive, if they are a little more homebound, if they don't have a car, and it's definitely something to keep in mind, that you want to put them on a plan and with providers that are as close to them as possible, if that is something that would impact their day-to-day life, or at least when they would be going to their appointments. So those are some questions and factors I would say to consider up front when folks who are eligible for these plans are thinking over what they want to potentially do or possibly roll into, and working with hopefully the broker with them on what would be the best option.
Thank you so much. That's important information. But we also like to have a little fun here on This Never Gets Old. So have you kept up with some of the trends, the social media trends? For instance, the 2026 is the new 2016. What do you think of that? And is that something that you keep up on?
Yeah, I did see that one, and I actually really enjoyed it because I graduated college in 2016. And so, coming up on 10 years of that happening, it's really fun to think of, where I was at and where my life was at fresh out of college, just starting my career, to fast forward 10 years now to kind of compare what's going on now versus back then, and maybe in another 10 years they'll do the same thing, right? And it'll be 2036, or 2026 is the new 2036, and so we'll look back and have the two to compare to. So yeah, I think it's really fun. I love kind of seeing everybody's different perspective. What were they doing 10 years ago in 2016 versus kind of where we're at now in our lives. Yeah.
Great. Keziah, thank you so much for being on the show. Any final words?
No, just thank you so much for having me here today. It's been great to discuss Medicare and the industry with you all, and to represent Anthem.
Thank you so much. Everybody tune in next week for another episode of This Never Gets Old.
Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California, Partnership LLC, independent licensee of the Blue Cross Association. Anthem is a registered trademark of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc.